We all need to smile. We're on YouTube now. Welcome back to another episode of Three Siblings Walk Into a Bar. I'm Deshae, the oldest sibling.
Sage, the middle sibling.
And I'm Storm, the youngest sibling.
Yay.
We are the three siblings that walked into a bar. What bar would we walk into? I feel like I've asked that question before. Have you guys been to the Puttery at Greenscape?
No, but I want to go so bad.
Oh my god,
Heard of it.
It's really, really cool. I feel like that's the bar we should go to. It's really
well, then we need to go.
So we can yell at each other. No,
yes.
I'm winning.
Exactly. Just
Lord.
Instagram live, some putt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be like, how did they ever get along?
Right.
Or really, we just wouldn't care whatsoever. We'd all three just suck really bad. Like,
exactly. Yeah. They do have really good drinks though, which is cool.
That's all that matters, really.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my husband's in here.
Just FYI, Richard's over here, and he's gonna get up at some point and walk out that door. So don't be alarmed if you're watching YouTube and you see a grown man walk out.
You shouldn't have said anything and just let the conspiracy theories.
And then just been like...
Haunted.
Haunted. No. How's everyone's week? Anybody do anything fun?
No, it's been super slow this week. I tattooed Deshae.
Yeah,
oh, that's right. She showed me yesterday.
Yeah.
See,
I love it.
They're gooey right now, but
that's disgusting.
My dragons.
Just kidding.
Yeah, they're under Sanoderm, but they're really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I
told him too, like it did not hurt. I was like, "You're doing a good job because this doesn't hurt."
Anytime anyone tells me that, I'm like, "Am I actually like? Is this gonna stay? Am I tattooing them right now?" Anytime anyone says that, because tattoos hurt for me. I hate them. They're horrible.
I do too. Yeah, but I feel like here, like this part isn't.
It's not. Yeah,
it doesn't hurt that bad.
I agree.
Yeah,
too,
I agree.
So.
And some people are different. Like some people don't like the shading. Some people don't like the lining. It just depends.
I don't like.
But yours is just mostly a bunch of shading.
Yeah.
That's the thing I hate. I feel like lining I can deal with it and almost kind of tickles.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the shading and I'm like, I hate everything. I hate this. I hate you. If you tattoo me one more time, I'm going to punch you in the throat. Like, I hate I don't like it.
Oh, yeah. By the end of the clown that I have on my calf, I was basically screaming at him. And he was like, I have one more line to do. And I was like, just fucking do it. I know exactly where you're going. Just do it. And he was like, I'm really sorry. I was like, just do it. I was like holding onto the chair. It was bad.
No.
You know, I remember my first tattoo. I remember it not hurting that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And even the guy was like, he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm almost done. I know this part sucks because it's just like coloring color over color. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm almost done. And I remember just being like, it's fine. Like, I don't, okay. And then anytime after that, I'm like,
yes.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible.
So the older you get, the thinner your skin gets. So it hurts more when you get tattoos when you're older. So I'm trying to just cover my full body now. I won't have to deal with
That's
it
what Richard
whenever
was
my
saying.
40s. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And, you know, I still have to do the inside of my, like right here. I'm not going to show you because they're my insecurity. You know, your turkey arms. And I'm just like, I probably just won't. Like, I'll tattoo everything else and then just leave that part open.
A lot of people do that. The Japanese sleeves, they have like this part is like open sometimes.
Yeah, no,
depends on the person.
That doesn't sound pleasant.
Most of it's just like, I don't want you touching it, and like I'm gonna pull my fat too.
Yeah.
You know, you have to like stretch the skin. Thank you.
When I was getting my stomach tattooed, Rainey was like pulling my entire stomach, and I was like, "This is the most embarrassing thing ever."
I know. I'm like, it would probably help the pain because I was mortified that they were touching my fat arms.
And because like I know how much you have to stretch, but she was like pulling, and I was like, "Okay, all right, this is a big.
This is what we're doing." Yeah. Oh, I hate it. Oh my gosh. Don't ever get tattooed. Ever.
Except from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because apparently it doesn't hurt.
Exactly. Yeah.
It didn't. Well, I mean, it does. Obviously, it did, but it wasn't like, oh my god. Like I remember. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember the very first time you tattooed me, as compared to this time, totally different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I actually know what I'm doing now.
Well, because I'm pretty sure we were like third and fourth tattoo, right?
Yes.
Or like
Yeah.
second and third or something. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just expecting it to
Yeah.
hurt somewhat, you know. But you know what? Apparently it doesn't hurt anymore, so that's good.
Yeah.
You
Good
live,
job.
you learn.
That's right. So can I talk about how horribly dry my hands are? I'm sorry. I just need to talk about it.
Oh my god, me too.
Dude,
it's horrific.
Yes.
They're like some of my knuckles are like
the other day.
Yeah, they're like
Cracking.
cracking.
Yeah.
I'm bleeding. I'm like, stop. Matt's like, you wash your hands too much.
I do too.
I'm like, I fucking wash my hands every time I pee. I'm sorry, but I'm not a man. Well, truly, but I've been drinking a lot of water. I'm getting old.
Just reminded me to drink some water.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Sage? What'd she say?
Oh, she said put some baby oil in your lotion.
Really?
Yeah. And it'll kind of like absorb more, I guess. Because I'm getting like dry patches. Like this is really gross, but like dry patches, and it's because it's cold. It's cold and
like,
and
dry.
then the heater's on, and
yeah. And my eyes right here, they're so like you can see, and I'm like, oh my god, okay.
My forehead right here, it gets so bad, and then like my nose, and then like right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the worst part of that. Tune in
so
to Three Siblings Walk Into a Bar
and
so we can just
tell
talk
us
about
where you are dry at.
All of our insecurities, it's fine. It's fine, you know.
Give us your dry skin tips.
Exactly. Yes, please.
Because I'm tired of my hands hurting and it's annoying me.
Well, just like, you know what they say with like, you know, like you're supposed to put your lotion on and then put socks on. Like, put your lotion on and put like gloves on.
Yeah.
But then you can't use your phone because, you know.
Yeah.
Unless you have those fancy gloves that have the
exactly.
That's true.
Things.
And then you have lotion all in your nice gloves.
Yeah.
That's true.
Exactly.
Oh, total squirrel. But so we picked our paint colors. I don't know if I told you, Sage, we're painting the inside of our house.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
What are you doing?
So I don't have them on me, but I took your advice, Storm, about the green. So we're doing, it's called pewter green. And we're going to do it on that one wall when you come in the house. That one wall.
Like an
and then, and then the wall over here where that big, huge mirror is in the dining room. And then all the other ones are going to be like, it's called like, I don't know, but it's not brown. It's like tan, like a very light tan.
Like a cream,
like a beige,
almost,
or is it more tan?
Yeah,
I'd say more tan, but light,
Excited.
but light. Yeah, so it's not like dark feeling.
It'll be like warm, and it kind of matches with the Moroccan type thing you got going on. Anyways, that's pretty cool.
I'm excited to see it. Make sure you take pictures.
Yes, they're coming tomorrow. We're gonna have to like just go upstairs, I guess.
Yeah,
in the back of the house. Okay, because I've never done this. I feel like it's very adult. I've never done the whole painting the house thing because this is the first house we've owned.
First of all, you
forever
own a house.
Yeah, that's true. Like we've lived here for like 6 years. It's time now.
Right.
Cover up all the 6-year dirts and stains and kid mess and you know.
And these kids, I mean, it's like they make it their life's mission to mess up everything.
Oh my god, it's so annoying.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
So annoying. Love kids, but my gosh.
Yeah.
Literally. Can you be any messier?
I'm telling you. Okay, I guess it's my turn.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of, because you were giggling about, you have to smile. We're on YouTube now. Did y'all see? I think I sent it to y'all. The picture that I picked for the YouTube thing.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
I haven't seen
Why?
it. I don't
Sage,
want to.
you're like,
I'll pull it
I
up
can't
right now
remember.
so that way you can see it, and everybody else
You're
can see it
doing
too.
Yeah, you're doing kind of like it almost like I don't remember, but yeah, it was funny.
What?
You're like,
I'm like, it's so my light in here is so bright. So of course Deshae's the only one that's like
Storm's talking, yeah.
And I'm like,
well, because like when I'm listening, I cannot just sit and stare. I have to move. My brain won't let me just. So I have to I'm like this. Y'all probably see me do so many different things with my hand.
I know, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad, for the ADHD.
Yeah, right? Okay. So, I got a little story for y'all. And you may know who he is. I think I told you who it was because I was like, did we do this person yet? But
I don't remember his name. So
okay, that's right.
Every say the name sounds familiar, but I never it does sound familiar, but I don't.
Yeah. So when this was at request of Matt, my husband, he's like, you should do this guy. It's like, okay. So his name is
okay. Yeah.
Did I freeze?
You paused and Storm and I were you didn't say anything for like 30 seconds.
Oh
we were just like, uh-huh. Yeah.
Earlier Storm, earlier
okay. I was like, yeah.
when you were talking about Richard earlier, y'all both froze and I was like, fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
Y'all,
we'll figure it out.
So if we don't have a YouTube video, it's because last time this happened, we couldn't post the YouTube video because it cut out like half of our everything. So
yeah, right. It doesn't flow right. So okay.
Freaking thing.
I'm over it. We're gonna have to fix that. Okay, we're gonna talk about Gary Heidnik. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Michael Heidnik. He was born November 22nd in 1943. He in Eastlake, Ohio. So 1946, when he was 3, his parents divorced. So him and his little brother, they were raised for the majority by their mom for about 4 years before they were sent to live with their dad and their stepmother.
Isn't that pretty rare back then too, to get divorced, like in general?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Back in the 40s for sure. They both had some issues. The parents both had some, especially her. Mm-hmm. Gary was emotionally abused by his father. He had a bedwetting problem, and his dad would make him hang his stained sheets out the window for all of the neighbors to see. That's yeah. He struggled really bad socially in school. He was really, really smart, but when it comes to social interaction, stuff like that, he didn't have it. He once yelled at a girl. She just asked him a question like, did you do the homework for last night? And he yelled at her and told her that she was not worthy to talk to him.
Okay.
So if that gives you a clue right there, how he spoke to the woman. He dropped out of high school when he was 17 and he joined the Army. He ended up serving for 13 months. And while he was in basic training, his drill sergeant at the time, he graded when, they grade you, I guess. Mm-hmm. He said he was excellent, like just top notch. Mm-hmm. And yeah. So he was sent to San Antonio to train as a medic. And he did super well in that training as well. He ended up being transferred to the 46th Army Surgical Hospital in Germany.
Wow.
But while he was in Germany, his health started declining. He started having really bad headaches, get really dizzy, blurred vision, and getting really nauseous. So he saw a neurologist. And he was diagnosed with gastroenteritis, which has nothing to do with the brain. Well,
from a neurologist. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, your gut does control a lot of things, but for a neurologist to,
yeah.
Anyways.
Hashtag gut health. Don't forget to drink your water.
He also said that he displayed signs of mental illness, so he prescribed him trifluoperazine, which is a antipsychotic.
They skip straight to the antipsychotic,
right?
Okay,
straight to it for his gut health. Okay, that's gonna be the name of this episode. Gut health. Okay, so he's on that now. October 1962, he was transferred to a military hospital in Philadelphia. And there they diagnosed him with schizoid personality disorder. And therefore they honorably discharged him from the military. That was in 62. Shortly after that, he became a licensed practical nurse, so an LPN. And he worked with veterans at a VA hospital, but he ended up getting fired for basically not showing up all the time, and he was really rude towards the patients. Between August 1962 and March 1987, he spent time in and out of psychiatric hospitals, and he attempted suicide at least 13 times.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
First off, that's so sad, but second off, you're really bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
13
well, and you know
times.
what? They usually say women will try more, but men are more successful. So that surprises me that that's the case.
Yeah.
That's so sad. But so 1970, his mom, she had bone cancer, and she also had, she was an alcoholic. She was dealing with the effects of having bone cancer and also being sick from alcoholism. Yeah. She ended up committing suicide by drinking mercuric chloride.
Oh my, what?
So I looked it up, and it's basically it's the component that's in chlorine, and I don't know, but it's a corrosive. Yeah, it's a corrosive. Right. So basically she basically like drinking acid. Mm-hmm. They said, and Matt and I were looking it up, and he's like, it says she would have been dead within 24 hours. So,
but can you imagine the
definitely would have
pain
suffered.
She was in?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
So that's horrible. Okay, yeah. So it's also known as sulema, which I've never heard of, or corrosive sublimate.
Interesting.
I don't know.
How did she get a hold of this?
That's what I don't know. I don't know.
I wonder if it was in cleaning.
It when I looked it up, it looks like chlorine, the chlorine tablets like you put in a pool, but then it also looks like laundry detergent or so I don't know. The powder
it's also
detergent.
The 60s, so there's probably a bunch of corrosive shit you're not supposed to use that people were using regularly.
So Gary's little brother, he was also in and out of a lot of psychiatric hospitals. He had attempted suicide multiple times as well. So
oh my gosh.
He just had a lot of family issues. And, he was abused by his dad. Yeah. Horrible. Okay. Now we're in October. So that was 1970 when his mother died. Now we're in October 1971. Gary starts a church, and it's called the United. Yeah, it's called the United Church of the Ministers of God.
Okay.
Yeah. So at first he only had 5 members. But it grew really quickly. And in 1975, he opened a bank account in the church's name, and made an initial deposit of like $1,500. And that account by 1986 had grown to over $500,000.
What?
From the church.
Yeah.
So he was very popular in the church. You know, it was a big church. He's taken all the money.
Yeah.
You know what I guess I just don't understand is how you get the followers. You know what I mean? Like, how do you start with 5 people and then end up with like? I guess I don't know.
It's word of mouth. So like
basically.
Jim Jones, people would go see, and then they'd be like, "You have to come see this guy. He's amazing." And that's right. It's word of mouth mostly. Okay, I'm assuming.
Yeah, handing out flyers, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Come join my cult.
Have you ever wanted to know what a cult's like?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So September 1985, Gary married Betty Disto. She was from the Philippines, and she was basically like a mail order bride. They had talked to each other by mail only for the first 2 years, and then she moved to the United States to be with him, and they were married like the next month.
Wow.
So got married really quickly. Their marriage quickly went to shit after Betty caught him in bed with like a trio of women, is what it said.
Y'all. Sir. Yeah, I was about to say. Oh my God.
So that was September 1985 when they got married. January 1986. And this, by the help of the Philippines community, she was able to leave him in January 1986. So she divorced him. And in 1987, I thought this was kind of funny. This was like good for her. She starts requesting child support payments from him.
Good.
He had no idea that she was pregnant or that she had a baby.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Yeah. So apparently she, I guess found out she was pregnant and never told him. She had his first child, a boy, in September 1986. He ended up having 2 other children, and both of them ended, another boy and 1 girl. Both of them ended up in foster care because their moms were not, they were, struggling.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had a son with Gail Lincow, and he had a daughter with Anjanette Davidson. Anjanette was illiterate and mentally disabled, and he got her pregnant, and she had the baby, so they immediately took the baby into foster care. Shortly after his daughter's birth, he was arrested for, this is horrible, the kidnapping and rape of Anjanette's sister, Alberta. She was also mentally disabled. She was living in an institution for the mentally disabled. And so what he did was he checked her out on a day pass. He checked her out on a day pass, and on day leave. He locked her up in a storage room in his basement. After she was found and they returned her to the hospital, when they were examining her, she had been raped, sodomized. He gave her gonorrhea. So that was in 1978. So at this time, he's arrested. He was charged with and convicted of kidnapping, rape, unlawful restraint, false imprisonment, and then involuntary deviant sexual intercourse and interfering with the custody of a committed person. So she was committed. They let him check her out on a day pass, and then he locked her up and tortured her.
So because he was seeing her sister, he was able to do that? Like, I just don't understand why they would just let her go.
I guess so. this is also, again, I don't want to say, I mean, but just things were so different. I mean, this was in 1978.
Yeah.
So we don't know,
Okay. Yeah.
His original sentence was overturned on an appeal. He spent 3 years of his incarceration in mental institutions. And then he was released in April 1983 under being supervised by the mental health program.
Okay.
Because that worked out well last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm going to give you the timeline now of kind of like when all his shit went to, well, I mean, yeah. Okay. So that was 1978. That was the first time he was imprisoned. Flashback 2 years, 1976. This is his first legal charges. When he was charged with aggravated assault, he was carrying an unlicensed pistol. After he was shooting at the tenant of a house he offered to rent, and he like grazed the guy's face.
Oh my.
He's just a fucking crazy. 1986. This is when his wife Betty left him. He was arrested and charged with assault and spousal rape, which is so sad that that's even a thing.
Oh yeah.
Now we're in 1986. Just buckle up for this one right here, okay?
Oh,
so it gets worse. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. I need my blankie, everyone.
This is not a long, because he like did his stuff and it was like, I mean, this is not a long thing by any means. So, okay, 1986 to 1987. On November 25th, 1986, Gary abducted 25-year-old woman named Josefina Rivera. So remember her. January 1987, he kidnaps another 4 women. He held them captive in a pit in the basement of his house in North Philadelphia. They were raped, beaten, and tortured. One of the girls had said later on in an interview that he used to take screwdrivers and put them in their ears, like, and then bang on them and put them in their ears.
Oh my God.
So that they would not hear him coming into the basement.
Oh, my eyes are watering. Oh my God.
One of the women, this was 24-year-old Sandra Lindsay. She died of basically starvation, being tortured, and then she had a fever that was left untreated. So that's how she died. Okay, this is gross. He dismembered her body. He said he had problems dealing with her arms and her legs, so he put them in the freezer and he labeled them dog food.
First of all, there's so much infection in that body. Like, you're gonna kill your dogs. Second of all,
he cooked her ribs in an oven and boiled her head in a pot on the stove. So police were called to his house because his neighbors were complaining of a smell that was coming from his house that was making them nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
But the police came and they left after Gary told them. He said, quote, "I'm cooking a roast. I fell asleep and it burnt."
Oh my God.
A burnt roast doesn't smell like that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. 4 extra people in your basement without proper sewage and stuff is what is happening.
Yeah.
And dead body.
Right. So several people said that he like ground up her flesh and mixed it with dog food and fed it to his other victims.
Oh my God.
Now, whether that's fully true or not, we don't really know because they were trying to say that's not true, blah, 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 but we don't know. He also would use electric shock as a form of torture. Because at one point he forced 3 of them. They were, he would keep them bound in chains. He forced them into another pit in the basement. And Gary and then Josefina, the first one he kidnapped, he made her help him. And
oh my God.
they filled the hole with water, and then he made Josephina basically electrocute them from a stripped extension cord that would she would touch to their chairs.
Oh my God.
So then 23-year-old Deborah Dudley, she was electrocuted to death. So two of them, he's killed two of them. He disposed of her body in like, it's called Pine Barrens. It's just like a woody area with a bunch of tall trees. It's by some water in New Jersey. January 18th, 1987, Gary abducts Jacqueline Askins, and she was the youngest of his 6 victims. She was 18. She was the one who she ended up surviving. So some of them did. There were 6, 2 of them died. She was the one that told the story about the screwdrivers in the ears. And they always had duct tape on their mouths too. So March 23rd, 1987, Gary and Josephina, so his first one, apparently he had a special place for her. They abducted 24-year-old Agnes Adams. And then Josephina convinces him to let her go temporarily so she can see her family. And he lets her. So he drives her to a gas station. He says, okay, I'm going to wait here for you. She said she was initially just going to confront him, but she ended up calling the police. And the officers that came, they said they could see like the marks all over her and the chain marks all over her arms and her legs. They went and they got him. They arrested him.
Good.
And then he had his best friend, Cyril Brown, was also arrested. This guy came out of nowhere. He was released $50,000 on $50,000 bail and agreed in an agreement that he would testify against Gary. He said that he witnessed him kill Lindsay, the one that he dismembered. And also he was there when he dismembered her body.
And he just was like, yeah, that's just a cool Thursday afternoon. Like,
exactly.
So shortly after he was arrested, April 1987, Gary attempted again to kill himself, and he attempted to hang himself in his jail cell. It didn't work. So at his trial, he claims that the women were already in the house when he bought it.
Oh my God. It wasn't me. I didn't do
me? It came with the house. It was a deal.
The audacity. Yeah. So his lawyer was trying to prove that he was insane.
It's history that proves it.
Right. But the fact that he successfully was able to have a bank account with over $500,000 in it. And they interviewed the people at Merrill Lynch, the financial advisor who helped him, was like, oh no, he was completely competent and he knew exactly what he wanted and he knew exactly what he was doing. So that didn't work.
Yeah.
So July 1st, 1988, Gary was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder, 6 counts of kidnapping, and 5 counts of rape, 4 counts of aggravated assault, 2 counts of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, and he was sentenced to death. And he was in the State Correctional Institution at Pittsburgh. January 1989, he again attempts suicide by trying to overdose on Thorazine, which is like for anxiety and stuff.
How would he have been able to do that?
I don't know.
Unless he's just like saving them up, but even still,
I was about to say
it's going to be hard
to
do.
Yeah.
1997. I thought this was weird. I don't really understand why they did this, but Gary's daughter, Maxine Davidson, and his ex-wife, Betty, filed a suit in federal court in the District of Pennsylvania, which they requested a stay of execution for him because they said that he wasn't competent enough to be executed. I don't understand that.
I don't understand it.
2 years.
Listen, I mean, I get that that's hard to watch your dad, and I get it, but if he was held competent to stand trial, then
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after 2 years of going back and forth because they requested that, the District of Pennsylvania was like, no, he's being executed.
Yeah.
He was executed by lethal injection on July 6, 1999 at the State Correctional Institution in Pennsylvania. He was cremated. He was also the last person executed by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yes. His last meal was 2 slices of cheese pizza and black coffee.
It's a horrible meal.
Right?
Right.
It's just like the people that quite literally, we need to do a whole episode of just like last meals because some of them are like,
that's a good idea. So here's the victims. It was Josefina Rivera. She was 25 and he kidnapped her on November 25th, 1986. She survived. Sandra Lindsay, age 24, kidnapped December 3rd, 1986, murdered on February 7th, 1987. Lisa Thomas, she was 19. He kidnapped her December 23rd, 1986. Deborah Dudley, she was 23, kidnapped on January 2nd, 1987. She was murdered March 19th, 1987. Jacqueline Askins was 18, kidnapped on January 18th, 1987. And Agnes Adams was 24, and she was kidnapped on March 23rd, 1980. Now, there were 6 serial killers who were used as inspiration for the
Buffalo Bill. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I know this story.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there were 5 other ones, but he was used as inspiration for that character.
Gross.
Now, I have this handy dandy book here.
Shut the hell up.
Ultimate Serial Killer Trivia Book by Jack Rosewood. Matt gave this to me in my stocking like 2 Christmases ago, like the first year that we started the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought
you're going to ask me questions and I'm going to be like,
no,
I don't even know his name. I don't
know. So Gary's actually in here. And then I thought I would read a couple of the like it's did you know type things. Okay, so but the things they wrote about Gary was he was one of the serial killers that inspired Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs. His primary motivation was to create a harem of sex slaves, which he did.
Yeah.
They talk about the screwdrivers. Oh, also a couple. So he had 3 baby mamas. 2 of them said that he would like keep them locked up. And at least one of Gary's religious groups assisted him in the torture of his prisoners, supposedly. That does not surprise me.
It doesn't. He was trying. It sounded like he had such a big head. He wanted like the following, but it wasn't really happening the way he wanted it to.
Yeah. Okay. Did you feel? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The first girl that kidnapped. Could you imagine her? Like she knew that, like, and she probably felt responsible for everybody.
Yeah.
And like, you know, when they died, I'm sure she know. Like, I feel like at that point she would have been like, I am taking on like a parent.
Right.
Yeah.
Thing. And then like watching it. Oh, I hate it. I mean, not that it wouldn't have been hard for all of them. I just feel like she knew, like, if I can't get us out of here, like we're stuck down here.
Yeah. Terrifying. Okay. Did you know the USA has both the highest number of recorded serial killers and the highest rate per capita? 0.99% per every 100,000 people. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. California is the U.S. state that has produced the most serial killers, over 1,000 since 1900. During the 1970s, California was called the murder capital of the world.
Holy poop.
Yeah. Canada, on the other hand, has only seen 106 serial killers between 1900 and 2016, despite it being much larger than us.
Jeez.
Yeah. Iceland has one of the lowest crime rates in the world and has only ever had one single recorded serial killer, Axler Bjorn Peterson, in the 15th.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
We need to move.
Right? The Philippines, they also say they've only had one serial killer in their history, which was a Catholic priest who allegedly killed 57 people between 1816 and 1826. I need to know who that was.
Do you? Yes.
But back then, wasn't it like the church knows everything, so they have to like...
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I'm Googling it. It was what is it?
A Catholic priest. Between 1816 and 1820.
In the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. So crazy. 57 people. He was pissed.
Yeah. I wonder what it had to have been like religious stuff.
Oh, sure. I mean, well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because people were like thrown off of bridges every day because people were like, "Oh, she's a witch."
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
His name is Mallory, Mallari. He was a parish priest of Magalang. Sorry, I don't know if I mispronounced that. He started believing his mother was cursed, which became his motive for killing.
Oh.
Fun.
Maybe you'll see him in a story.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm. Next week on...
Exactly.
Okay. Did you know, while there have been many crazy instances of people using really weird items to kill other people, like socks, microwaves, shovels, scissors, chainsaws, and even toilet lids, most serial murderers stick with guns, knives, ropes, or their bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
The most unique weapon to ever be used in a multiple homicide case was a samurai sword used by Tedoro Baez to kill 2 people in Chicago in 1999 with a samurai sword.
Oh my God.
And then I thought this was kind of interesting. According to Radford University studies, serial killers with higher IQs prefer bombs and poison over guns and knives, while with the ones with lower IQs tend to bludgeon or stab their victims.
Wow.
I never thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's the complexity of the poison and the stuff like that for the ones with, higher IQs or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
And a lot of the time,
That's
like
nuts.
the people that have super high IQs, or not a lot of the time, but sometimes they're not like, the thrill of the kill is not what they're looking for. They're looking to like send a message or something, which is easier to do that way. That's interesting.
That's crazy.
Okay. Here are some common psychopathic traits. Do you have any of these?
Probably.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Aggressive behavior, prone to violent
Depends.
outbursts,
Maybe.
superficial charm and charisma,
No.
tendency to lie,
No.
unable to distinguish between right and wrong,
Jeez.
difficulty showing remorse or empathy, lack of regard for safety and responsibility, behavior that conflicts with societal norms. No. Violating the rights of others.
Definitely not. Never.
Parasitic living.
Not
manipulating.
Me, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
So, like, basically, like, just mooching. Like, just living off other people, basically.
You know, like the I guess the people that like still live at their mom's house or something,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. You know,
or it's like if you have a partner and they just sit around the house all day, and you go to work and do everything, and they're just hanging out. Yeah.
Okay.
Manipulating or purposely hurting others.
No.
Regular problems with the law.
Oh, you know me.
not regular ones.
Impulsivity and failure to plan.
Oh, definitely not me.
Boredom and thrill-seeking behavior. No concern for consequences.
Oh, that is my number one driver is I don't want to get in trouble.
Exactly.
So.
Okay, and then last, I can tell you some other did you knows if y'all want to hear them.
Yeah.
Duh.
Okie dokie. This is about murderabilia.
Oh God.
Okay.
So like, you know, stuff
souvenirs
from murderers. Mm-hmm. The origins of the modern mortabilia industry can be traced back to the 1950s when a carnival owner bought Ed Gein's car and charged people admission to see it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Common murderabilia items include handwritten letters, prison artwork, crime scene relics, hair and nail samples, and personal items of clothing. The most expensive, yeah,
that's disgusting.
Nails are gross. Yeah. The most expensive piece of murderabilia ever sold was the Colt Cobra revolver of Jack Ruby, who is the man who killed Lee Harvey Oswald.
Okay.
It sold for $2 million in 2008. Yeah.
That's insane.
The most expensive piece of murderabilia that's still available on the market as of September of 2022 is John Wayne Gacy's last ever painting. It's currently available for $49,000.
Yep.
What the fuck? $49,000.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the rarest pieces of murderabilia of all time is currently in the collection of Joe Coleman. Is the business card of William Marwood. He's a British hangman from the 1800s.
Interesting.
That's nuts.
Isn't that crazy?
I have a weird relationship with murderabilia. Like, mine was all given to me, so I never paid for it. Like, no money was going to anybody, so I don't feel as... But, like, people spending this much money on something like that just, it's weird to me.
Yeah, like that's a lot of money to spend. That's weird.
And it's just so you can have it and be like, I have this and nobody else does. Kind of thing.
And the bad energy that stuff's gotta have.
Yes.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah. Like, I don't have anything like from a murder or anything, but I have like a newspaper from the 70s of Charles Manson, and I have like an original book from the 70s and stuff like that, but like nothing from the actual murders.
Like actual,
right. Yeah.
That's nuts up ants. Yeah, I have I could understand being interested in it and like going to like a museum and like looking at it and
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
But like, yeah,
But
you're right.
seeking
Like
it
spending
out,
all that money and like, yeah,
that's just crazy.
that's crazy.
Crazy pants.
Mm-mm.
So yeah.
That was a good story. I mean,
all of that story.
Thank you.
yeah, I was about to say, I always hate, like,
it.
I don't know what to like. It was a good story to hate, I guess.
Yeah. So it was short, but it took me because I had to like stop and because I was like, I was finishing like last night. I was telling Matt, I was like, this is hard to read. Like it's taking me like all week just to, write stuff down and stuff like that. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
I know, because sometimes you just got to take a break. You got to do a little and then just go, I need a break, and then start again. And it can be hard.
I don't really get triggered by much, but there are some times where I'm writing these scripts and I'm like, okay, just back up for a second.
Yeah.
Just relax, breathe. You're fine. Like,
and and it's also, it's hard to say it out loud. Like, even you can be like writing it down and stuff and you're like, cool. And like, whatever. And then the second you start saying it out loud, you realize how crazy it sounds, where you're like, I can't believe that that's something somebody did. And then it can hit you in a different way too.
And the like kidnapping and holding people prisoner, like that happens a lot more than people think it does.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could remember his name. There was a man and a woman that kidnapped like 4 girls and kept them in the basement. And one of the girls was able to get loose somehow. And she wrote a book and like all this stuff. But the husband and wife were both like torturing these girls because the husband wanted her. Did we tell that story? I feel like we've told that story before. But
I know what you're talking about. I think there was like a movie about it too, like a Lifetime movie or something.
Sorry, my dog's like
breathing.
Thank you. God.
Sorry, at the same time, my child came in.
I call them pizza ears because their ears flop over and they're triangles. So I always will be like, put your pizza ears away. Like if I'm getting onto them and they look at me with their pizza ears, put the pizza ears away.
It's the ears, it's not the eyes.
Yes. Well, she always just looks sad. Like her facial expression is just like sad. And so I'm like, can you be happy for a second?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Yeah. Lilo she's a rat terrier. So she has the markings of a rat terrier, but she's the size of a chihuahua and she has eyebrows. They're like these little ovals right here. And she knows exactly how to use them. She does the sad eyes. She does the like surprise. She knows exactly what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
I'm just giggling thinking about her being like,
yeah, when she gets surprised, or when she tells on the cat too. Like if I have my headphones in or something, and she hears him like playing in like the trash or something, she'll get me. And she's like, he's doing something. And I was like, he's fine. He's fine.
Doing something bad.
Exactly. She's like telling on him. It's ridiculous.
I love it.
He just wants him to get in trouble. That's
exactly.
She's like, get this freaking thing. You know, I was peaceful until you brought this thing in his house.
Yeah, I know. I thought she'd like a buddy, but she does not like a buddy.
So Pluto is obsessed with the cat. He wants to love the cat so bad, and the cat wants nothing to do with him. And so last night the cat was sitting like on the top of the couch, and Pluto was like standing like right here. He was just like sitting, and then he was just like side-eyeing her, and the cat's just laying there staring at him, like she's like, I'm a cat. And he like would get a little bit closer and closer to her, and she'd kind of like, he would just get closer, and then finally I think he gave up because she kind of gave him the like, keep coming closer, Mom.
Yeah.
And so he turns around so he's not facing her, and then she starts like poking him and like sniffing him and stuff, and I was like, oh my god,
it's happening.
I was like, nobody breathe,
don't
make a movement or anything. And then she like sat there for a second, and then he turned around, and then she like got scared and got up and ran away, and I was like, dang it was so close.
Aww.
But he just follows her around and wants to love her so bad.
Yeah. I saw this thing the other day, and this girl was like, my cat will sit in front of her food bowl and just yell until I come over and like watch her eat. And it's so annoying.
Oh my God.
And this guy responded to her and was like, just so you know, like it's possible that she wants you to come over and watch her eat so that she can focus on eating because she feels safe around you and she doesn't have to watch everything else. And then you like see the girl and she's sitting there holding her cat crying and she's like, I'll never question you again. And that's how I feel all the time because I realize like he's doing this shit. Like my cat's doing this stuff for a reason. It's not just being an asshole. Like so I have to figure out why he's doing it. It's so wild.
Right. Oh my God.
Did you know that dogs, like in the wild, dogs will like watch while they're pooping? The other dogs will watch them and around them to make sure that nothing happens to them.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that every time, Pluto, first of all, will not go poop unless you go outside with him. Like you have to go out there. He'll go out there and pee, but he won't poop.
Yeah.
And so you'll go out there and it's like really cold right now. So I literally will open all the windows and like put my face so he sees me. And then he'll like stare into my soul while he's pooping.
Yeah.
And Zero does the same thing. And he'll just like watch you like, and I'm like, yes, I see that you're pooping. Thank you. God.
Yeah. Lilo like does the circle thing where she walks around in circles and she like every time she turns around she like stops and looks at me and then she like turns back and then she'll start pooping and then she'll like stare at me while she's doing it. It's like over her shoulder and I'm like, girl, I'm here. Like I see you. It's okay. It's happening. I know.
My poop's coming.
Oh my God.
What is that?
It's from a TikTok, and this girl's like pretending, like doing yoga with the horse head on.
Yes.
And then the little girl runs by holding her butt. My poop's coming.
My favorite yoga TikTok of all time is the Grinch one. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
And he starts screaming. Oh my gosh.
We got way off topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
welcome to our
The things you've learned in this episode today, you're welcome.
I know.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right. Well, Storm, if they want to listen to more of our ramblings, where can they find us?
Yeah. We are on Instagram at 3SWIB Podcast. We are on Facebook, 3 Siblings Walk Into a Bar. Go on there, like, comment, do all the things. Let us know what stories you're interested in. Do you like the bigger stories? Do you like the littler stories? I guess I didn't word that correctly. Do you like the more famous stories or the less famous stories? Rate and review. Very helpful for us. Apple's kind of a butthole. So please, if you have Apple, go on there and rate and review. And YouTube. Go watch us on the tube. Follow, like, ring the little bell down here. I don't know. You don't have to do that. I don't know anything about it.
Talk to us.
Talk to us. Yes, we love that.
Speaking of that, Rainey, the other day, I was like, I need to write my script. And she was like, I've given you so many different people and you haven't done any of them. And I was like, because you give me hard people. And she was like, well, I'm just going to start texting your sisters and telling them to do it. And I'm like,
yes,
go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. All right. Well, that's what happens when 3 siblings walk into a bar.